Hello students, in the last lecture we have discussed about the selection rules, and in that we have finished discussion about the spin selection rule. Now the second selection rule is called as Laporte selection rule. Now according to this rule, the change in the orbital quantum number, that is small l, during a transition is either +1 or -1. So that means change in the small l, that is the orbital quantum number, is equal to either plus or minus 1 only. It should not be less than this, it should not be more than this. So as per the rule, there are allowed transitions and forbidden transitions. So allowed transitions will be when the electron gets transferred from s orbital to p orbital, or p orbital to d orbital, or d orbital to f orbital, and so on. These transitions will be allowed transition. Okay, and forbidden transitions are directly from s to d by skipping the p orbital, p to f by skipping the d orbital. Such transitions are not allowed. Okay, so when the transition takes place from s to p, so the orbital quantum number changes from only by the value +1, or p to s it changes only to -1. Okay, forbidden transitions, when s to d the quantum number changes by 2, and when the transition is within the s orbital, like s to s, p to p, d to d, or f to f, even such transition the orbital quantum number is, the change is 0. So even these transitions are not allowed. So to understand it in a better way, the Laporte selection rule is, it says that the change in the orbital quantum number should be either plus or -1. Okay, so this L has values like 0, 1, 2, 3, wherein 0 is the value for s orbital, 1 is for p, d, f, and so on. So when the electron transition takes place from s to p orbital, the quantum number changes from 0 to 1, that means it is +1. p to d also it is +1, d to f also is +1. Similarly, okay, if it changes from, if it is an emission of energy, then from f orbital it will come down to d orbital, it is -1, d to p is -1, and p to s is -1. So change in the quantum number is either +1 or -1 in this case. Then such transitions are allowed transitions. So I have written over here, these are allowed transition. If the quantum number if the electron changes from s to d, so it takes a 2 orbital jump, then it is, the quantum number changes from 1 to 2, means there is an addition of +2. Or if you say p to f, it is +2. Such transitions are not allowed. So s to d, p to f orbital transitions are forbidden transitions. Similarly, within the orbitals s to s, p to p, d to d, f to f, the quantum number will not change. So the change in the quantum number will be 0. L will be 0 over here. Okay, delta L will be 0. So that is also a forbidden transition. Then the next question is classification of spectroscopy. We can expect a 3-mark question over here. Okay, so spectroscopy, depending upon the atomic transitions or molecular transition, we can have 2 types of spectroscopies, with atomic spectroscopy and molecular spectroscopy. Atomic spectroscopy, in this the energy changes take place at the atomic level. Here the energy changes take place at the molecular level. These two, there is a further subdivision. Atomic spectroscopy is further divided into 3 types. These are the shortcuts that I have written. Okay, first one is atomic absorption spectroscopy. This is atomic emission spectroscopy. This is atomic fluorescence spectroscopy. These two basically are the emission spectroscopies. This one is the absorption spectroscopy. Now what is the meaning of this? In atomic absorption spectroscopy, the atom will absorb UV light, and it will get excited from lower energy level to higher energy level. So while going from lower to higher energy level, it will take or it will absorb certain amount of energy. That is studied over here, and this spectroscopy is used for the detection of metals in the given sample. In atomic emission spectroscopy, first the molecule of course will absorb certain energy. Here in this case it absorbs energy in the form of heat, it gets excited. After that the excited atom is unstable over there, it will emit light or energy and it comes back to lower energy level. This emitted light is measured over here in this type of spectroscopy, and this spectroscopy is used for the determination of the quantity of the element. Similarly, this is also, as I said, a type of emission spectroscopy only, but in this case the light that is emitted, that light is called as fluorescence. Okay, so the excited atoms gives out fluorescence while coming back to lower energy level, and this spectroscopy is used for the analysis of organic compounds. Next is the molecular spectroscopy. Molecular spectroscopy is divided into these types. Okay, and these types depend upon the type of light which is absorbed by the sample. Okay, so we have microwave spectroscopy, IR spectroscopy, UV visible spectroscopy. Okay, and a different type is there which is called as nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. Now in the microwave spectroscopy, it uses microwave radiation. Here it uses IR radiation. Here it uses UV radiation. Okay, so if we talk about the electromagnetic spectrum, these are the different regions of electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, the highest energy rays are gamma rays, उसके बाद आता है X-ray, then UV rays, IR radiation, okay, microwaves and radio waves. Radio waves or microwaves are having the lowest energy. So when the electronic transition takes place from by absorbing the lowest energy radiations, that is microwaves, such spectroscopy, such study is called as microwave spectroscopy. Okay, it is used for determination of structure and bonding in the molecules. Next level is the IR spectroscopy. Look here. Okay, so IR spectroscopy deals with the rotational and vibrational transitions. Okay, so in this case it will be useful in the determination of functional groups. Next comes the UV visible spectroscopy. Here in this case the molecule absorbs the UV radiation. Okay, and it deals with the electronic transitions. Here it is comes to the use of determination of presence of double bonds and triple bonds in the molecule. Last but not the least, this is a different type of spectroscopy, nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. Okay, here it studies the magnetic properties of the nuclei, and it is used for the determination of structure, concentration of the molecule. Okay, now after this I will provide you a chart where these regions are mentioned, their corresponding energy, frequency and wavelengths will be mentioned. In addition to that, their source, from where we can get these, like from where we will get UV rays, from where we will get X-rays, from where we will get gamma rays. So the source will be mentioned, and lastly the use or the application of these rays will be mentioned. So you will get a table. You will have to prepare a table based upon that information. Again I will repeat, the table in which first column will be the names of these rays, second will be the energy, third will be the wavelength, fourth will be the frequency, fifth will be the source of that radiation, and last will be the application of the radiation. And last 1 minute for once again explaining this the molecular energy levels. So how does this actually takes place? Suppose there are three molecules A, B and C. Okay, so first molecule A absorbs microwave. We have just now seen that microwaves are the lowest energy radiations. So it gets very small amount of energy, so it is excited to a very small level. So this A star represents the excited molecule. Okay, how we will come to know that the molecule is excited? Microwaves are so less energetic, that it will only cause rotation of some bonds in the molecule. Okay, so in this case the bonds in the molecule will rotate, so only rotation will take place. That is why it is called as rotational transition. Okay, so here if you see the transition, in this case the transition will take place here. A का placing है J0 पे, एकदम ground state पे, and when it absorbs the microwave, ये सिर्फ यहाँ तक पहुँचता है J1 तक, so इसको बोलते हैं rotational transition. So ये केस में whenever microwaves are एब्जॉर्ब ओनली रोटेशनल ट्रांजिशन विल टेक प्लेस. उसको रोटेशनल क्यों बोलते हैं? क्योंकि मॉलिक्यूल के बॉन्ड सिर्फ रोटेट होंगे ये केस में. उसके माइक्रोवेव के हायर एनर्जी का आता है आईआर रेडिएशन, इंफ्रारेड रेडिएशन. सपोज ये मॉलिक्यूल बी है, नाउ दिस एब्जॉर्ब्स द आईआर रेडिएशन, थोड़े हाई एनर्जी का है, तो ऑफकोर्स इसको ज़्यादा एनर्जी मिलेगा, तो ये पहले तो रोटेशनल लेवल तक तो होगा ही राइज, लेकिन इसके ऊपर भी ये जाएगा ये लेवल तक, क्योंकि इसका एनर्जी ज़्यादा है, आईआर रेडिएशन का एनर्जी ज़्यादा है, तो इसको ज़्यादा एनर्जी मिला. सो फ्रॉम बी इट हैज़ गॉन टू बी स्टार एक्साइटेड स्टेट. तो ये केस में रोटेशन तो होगा ही मॉलिक्यूल के बीच में, लेकिन रोटेशन के साथ साथ मॉलिक्यूल के जो बॉन्ड्स हैं वो वाइब्रेट भी होंगे. सो दिस टाइप ऑफ ट्रांजिशन इज कॉल्ड एज रोटेशनल वाइब्रेशनल ट्रांजिशन. सो हियर इन दिस केस द एटम विच इज़ एट द lowest or we can say at the ground state absorbs the IR radiation and it gets transferred to V1. तो V1 पर जाने तक ये रोटेशनल लेवल से भी पास होता है. दैट इज़ वाई आई मेड अ कमेंट दैट इट अंडरगोज रोटेशनल ट्रांजिशन ऑल्सो एंड ये क्या होता है वाइब्रेशनल ट्रांजिशन ऑल्सो. सो आईआर रेडिएशन का जो स्पेक्ट्रोस्कोपी रहता है उसको रोटेशनल वाइब्रेशनल स्पेक्ट्रोस्कोपी भी बोलते हैं, बिकॉज हियर टू चेंजेस हैपन इन द मॉलिक्यूल. इट रोटेट्स ऑल्सो एंड इट वाइब्रेट्स ऑल्सो. इसके ऊपर के एनर्जी का रहता है यूवी रेडिएशन. सो इन केस ऑफ यूवी रेडिएशन द हाईएस्ट एनर्जी है, सो दिस इज मॉलिक्यूल सी, इट गेट्स एक्साइटेड टू सी स्टार क्योंकि ज़्यादा एनर्जी मिला. सो नाउ इफ़ यू सी इट गोज थ्रू द रोटेशनल लेवल, इट गोज थ्रू द वाइब्रेशनल लेवल और उसके भी ऊपर ये जाता है. ओके, सो दिस इज़ नथिंग बट द इलेक्ट्रॉनिक ट्रांजिशन. मीनिंग व्हाट, यहाँ पे ये अगर इलेक्ट्रॉन है तो ये एक ऑर्बिटल से दूसरे ऑर्बिटल में जंप करता है. So for that higher energy is needed which is provided by UV radiation. Okay, so in these case the electronic transitions will not be seen. So here in case of C it directly goes from E0 to E1. Okay, so in between it passes all these rotational and vibrational levels. So I hope you have understood the explanation. Okay, thank you.